Alright. Welcome back to Isekai Quartet, Anime Review, episode number 7. Excuse me. We're here reviewing the 29th episode of the series, Attack of the Spear Hero. Yep, he's here. So we start off with the cockroach from Overlord talking to Yulin, who's from Konosuba. Says, oh yeah, this is basically class 3, and they're getting a new student. And it's a spear hero who is like shocked, like, not of the cockroach, at Yolene, who is a pretty girl with a big chest, and calls her a pig. And Yolene slaps him, and she gets detention for it. And then he proceeds to just wander on the school the whole episode. Then he runs to Ram and Ram, calls them pigs, which then they proceed to jump. And this I thought was really interesting because they've never showed us in ReZero. Because whenever you see Ram and Ram, they only have one of their eyes uncovered, the other one's covered by their hair. Here, I don't know if this was an error on the part of the animator for doing this because they never do this ever in ReZero. Never. Their hair is like almost virtually stuck to over their eye. You see when they jump up, the hair moves, and you can see both of their eyes. I'm like, that was so cool seeing that. And then we see him in the cage where it has Death Knight and Hamsky. He gets out and then runs into... You're probably thinking, okay, what character runs next? Well, then he goes to what appears to be the nurse's office. By the way, Wiz is not there for some reason. Where we see Amora, Darkness, Shaltair. I'm trying to think who else was there. Maybe one other. And Aura proceeds to whip him with her basically rope. And then later on he sees Albedo and Tanya, calls them pretty because they have cowlicks. And then he runs into Felt, Julius, and the other girl was actually one of the I think it was Alpha, I think it was. And then runs to the other Darkness sisters. And then of course he gets beaten up more. Of course, Felt is there. Felt tells Reinhard to basically do something, and of course proceeds to bury him back in the same cage, up to his head. And then the episode ends with Nafumi, Raftalia, and Philo leaving the school for the day because they're not feeling too well. It is interesting, though, we have two very well-known characters bringing Knickerbocker voices, and only one of them is not in this episode, and that's Wiz. You're like, really? Yeah. And this is interesting, though, they added the Spear Hero because I think anybody who's seen Rising Hero probably knows, like, oh, also, he first Nafumi as father. Yeah, that was something he started to do after he kind of stopped being a jerk. But now he is just he's just an annoyance to him. All because he loves Philo, who I should point out, though, is a little girl. I am very surprised Philo does not proceed to continually beat the crap out of him because he's basically obsessed with a little girl. Yes, I should point out, though, Philo is a little girl who is not even 2-3 years old, and he's in love with her. And I'm like... He also says in the episode that his spear is broken. Maybe the power is, but not the spear itself. The spear looks fine. It does look a little different. It does in ReZero. I thought that was interesting. I'm a little surprised they redesigned his spear, because mostly everybody else basically keeps the same look they had from the shows. He looks a bit different, probably because he's never been in the Chibi form before. That is presumably what the reason happening here, but it's interesting though they include pretty much all the female characters or all the shows crossover here, except for Aqua. Actually, I think Aqua has briefly appeared in the episode as a quick cameo. She doesn't do very much, but Yes, for him getting beaten up and being buried up to his head. Yeah, he rightfully deserves because he's a dick. Actually, more like he's an annoyance. Yep. So yeah, that's pretty much the particular video. Please be sure to like and subscribe to notifications. Probably gonna try to do one, maybe two more anime tonight. And I'm gonna sadly have to save the rest for tomorrow. Yeah. But luckily tomorrow I only have one anime tomorrow, okay? Next one is gonna be my Assassin, obviously Seeds here, okay? Bye.